Hey guys, my name's Dave Robinson. I'm the head coach and director of the Leadership Recipe and also Robinson Consulting Group. Thanks for downloading our free guide, the 2023 Rapid Change Guide, which talked about the 5 steps that you needed to take in order to change and achieve both rapid and long-lasting change. I've created this video to help support the guide, to create a little bit more information and a little bit more support. And there's some questions that I'm going to ask you that's going to assist you to go just that little bit deeper after having read the guide. Now, what I would invite you to do is to watch this video and then rewatch the video and write down some of the questions and the exercises that I'm suggesting you do. And then take your time and ponder. See, all change happens when you do the work, and simply watching this video may create a level of awareness that you didn't have before, but it's when you ponder and you do the work yourself, that's when you change. See, change is hard. If change was easy, we wouldn't have populations of people that were unhappy, overweight, had vices like drinking, gambling, maybe even drugs. And when people change, often they only change for a very short period of time because most change requires the unconscious to change. And the unconscious works on needs, whereas the conscious mind works on wants. But what we know is that needs are far stronger than wants. And so if the unconscious is unaffected, the change simply won't last. So in the guide, we talked about the 5 steps for rapid change being commitment, release and realignment, focus, outside influences or environment, and lastly, action. And so for the first part of this guide, we're going to talk about commitment. And I've got 3 questions for you to consider. The first question is, how specifically is what you would like to change or move away from a challenge? The second question is, how long has it been a challenge? And then lastly, what is it costing you? Could be personally, could professionally, maybe health. What is it costing you by not making this change? And at the end of these 3 questions, you should be able to identify what is your pain. The first 2/3 of the journey of change is spent in avoiding pain. We move away from it. And when we look at commitment, it's about clarifying and understanding our pain point. The second point in our journey of change is that of release and realignment. And when we're talking about release and realignment, what we're talking about is our unconscious patterns and often our values and our beliefs. And the first question I've got for you to ponder is, what are your core values? A value is a little bit like a GPS navigation system. It tells us what is deeply important to us. We either move towards something or we move away from something. So question 1, what are your core values? Question 2 is, what are your beliefs? And a belief is attached to a value. It is something that we believe either must happen or must not happen in order for us to fulfill or complete on our values. So for each of your values, what do you believe? And then lastly, the people that already have the thing that you want, the thing that you are moving towards and you would like to change, what are their values and beliefs? What do you think they think are important? And what do you think that they believe about themselves or about the opportunity? The third part of our process of change is focus. We focus on what we want at the exclusion of everything else. And inside of this part of the guide, I've got an exercise, not questions. I would invite you to picture with clarity, spend some time to think about and picture what you actually want to change toward. And it might be a month from now, it might be 3 months from now, maybe even a year. But really picture what it is that you want. And when you've got this vision, I'd like you to write down, what is it that you see? What is it that you hear? And then lastly, how do you feel? These three components are critical in whether you will or won't achieve your goal. How did you feel when you'd achieved it? What did you hear around you? And lastly, what did you see? This is your picture. This is your vision. And I would invite you to create a vision board of you having completed the task. The fourth step in the journey of change is outside influences or our environment. There was a famous study done many years ago of two patients that were both drug addicts, and they went into rehabilitation and they came out of rehabilitation clean. One of the patients went back into his own environment, whereas one patient went into a completely new environment. And the study showed that the one that went into new environment managed to stay clean, but the one that went back into his old environment started back on drugs really, really quickly. And so the power of your environment and your outside influences is super important. And so the first question I've got for you in your outside influence is, who are the 5 closest people to you? Who are they? They might be your mum, dad, brother, wife, sister, best friend, social group. But who are, and I'd invite you to list, who are the 5 closest people to you? And then what are their values and their beliefs? And then once you've considered their values and beliefs, do the value, beliefs, and structures that they have support or undermine your ability to change? Will they enable you to get closer to that end goal, or will they be a challenge? And the last step, number 5 in our rapid change guide, was action. Because we can have a vision, we can have a plan, but unless we take action towards what we want, it's nothing more than a dream. But there's a famous question: how do you eat an elephant? Because if your task was to eat an elephant in one sitting, you might get overwhelmed. You might get anxious, and then you might procrastinate, because where do you start? Well, we all know that you eat an elephant by taking one bite at a time. And when I'm working with my clients, what we do is we attach a timeline to their goal or their objective. And often we do that as a 90-day period. We do it as a smaller, digestible chunk. And once we've got a 90-day goal or a 90-day objective, what we then do is we reverse engineer some milestones to get to that 90-day goal. And in our program, we do 6 milestones, or we do a fortnightly milestone, and we look 14 days ahead. So what is the one thing that you need to do over the next 14 days? What action do you need to take to get one step closer to that goal? And being able to focus on a smaller, more digestible step means that we can rapidly take action and not procrastinate. So they're the 5 steps to rapid and long-lasting change, and also working with both our conscious and our unconscious mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, if you had any questions or comments about your journey, we'd only be too happy to hear from you. Send me a messenger message here on Facebook. If you would like a complimentary 60-minute strategy session to help you on this journey of change, we're happy to offer that to you via Zoom. And our business and our programs, they do deal with change and transformation. And we offer a 90-day program called Clarity. And that program is designed to work with self-leadership. It is to enable you to move towards your authentic version of yourself, towards the true outcomes and desires that you've got. And we've got a structured program that helps you understand yourself, what you want, and where you're going. So if you would like some information on that, of course, reach out and we'll get that to you. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the guide. Hope you enjoy the questions that we've created for you today, and looking forward to hearing about your stories and your journey of change. Cheers, guys.